Well, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in today. Today, we're going to be talking about some motivating, inspiring, encouraging, and more importantly, empowering message that I'm going to share with you today. And we're still talking about teen dating violence. So if you've been following me long enough, you know that I've been sharing in regards to teen dating violence. I started yesterday and I told you that this month is actually Teen Dating Violence Month, right? So I'm going to be sharing for the next 7 days, whether it be a post or whether it be me popping on to do a video. Now this weekend, I will be doing a video each day. So I started yesterday. I did a video. I'm doing a video now, and then I'll also host a video on tomorrow. Okay. And we'll be talking about domestic violence. And then, I'll let you know the other days throughout the week what time I'll be hosting a video. I might have to do the video a little early or maybe do the video a little late because of other commitments that I have. Like on Monday night is when I do the healing. Monday and Thursdays is when I do the healing video. And then on Tuesdays is when I have my training class that I have to go to. And then Wednesday night is usually Bible study night. So I really don't want to miss that to do a video for you guys. So it looks like the next time I would do a video in the evening time would be on Friday. And I don't want to wait that long to jump on and do another video. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the video earlier. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then that way I can still probably do a video on Monday and on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to see. I'll let you know. Okay, let me just try to pace it out and see how many videos I can actually do to be able to host for you guys so that you can get the information that I'm sharing with you. Okay, I don't want you to just look at the post. I believe that when I share real life experience, real lived experience, I want to say, or real life experiences with you all, that helps you to be able to grasp the information that I'm sharing with you a lot better. That's what I believe. And one of the reasons why I say that is because that's how I learn. I would rather hear someone share some stories than to just sit up there and lecture me. Okay. I think that is like the worst way to train somebody to host an event is to lecture somebody. Now, if I'm going there I don't even think if I'm going to a place and I know that it's going to be a lecture, like if I'm in college and I'm taking class, I just don't think that I should be in class and just getting a lecture, right? I like the stories that come with it because that helps me. This is just me talking, okay? That helps me to visualize what that person is saying, and I can relate it to a real life experience, or I can look at it and say, oh, I can relate to that because of X, Y, and Z, right? That's how I realized through the years how I learned the best. And then also I realize that I learn the best when I'm writing down. So I can look at a book that I'm learning from, and I'll still write down notes from that book. And I might be writing the exact same thing that's in that book, but it's helping me to process and remember what I'm learning. So that makes a huge difference. So if nothing else, more importantly, what I want to share with you is find out how you learn. Find out the best way that you learn and keep using that. I've found that out with me going to college, that's the best way that I learn. And I've been doing that ever since, and it has made a huge difference for me. Okay. So just I know I got a little off topic, but hopefully that helps somebody out there that's going to hear this video or read the video, hear the video, listen to the video after it's already been recorded. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The light will go off, right? Light bulb will go off. And you'll be like, yep, that makes sense. I understand what she's saying. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into this. And so yesterday when I spoke with you all, I shared some statistics with you. Okay. So today I'm going to share another statistic with you. And I think this one is important. Let me jump to the page of where I had it. Okay, so this right here says 60% of teens know someone who has been physically abused. So your lovely teenager, son or daughter, cousin or a niece, great niece, great nephew, they know somebody, neighbor's friend, your friend's friend, they know somebody that has been physically abused in a relationship between the ages of 11 and 18. Okay. that percentage is huge, even though, keep in mind, every stat that you hear that I'm going to talk about and whatever stats that you hear like on the news, it's only what's reported. Okay. There's probably a whole bunch of people that chose not to respond to this survey that went out, or however they gathered this information, right? They chose not to answer that question. But does it make it wrong? Does it make it any difference? Does it make it lose its validity? No, it doesn't, right? What it does is it helps you to understand that domestic abuse is happening more often than we're actually talking about it, okay? Even if we don't talk about it, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It is happening. And it's going to continue to keep happening. I hate to say that. It's going to continue to keep happening, but we have to become educated so that we can see what's going on in the relationship. We can, voice our opinion about what's going on. We can feel confident enough to leave that relationship and never, ever return to a situation like that again, right? And not look at it and say, oh, well, he or she is not hitting me, so it's not abuse. I'm teaching you during this week that even if the person doesn't physically hit you, it can still be a form of abuse. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Tonight is what we're talking about. I'm going to share with you the different forms of abuse. Now, even though what I'm talking about is Teen Dating Violence Month, right? It also covers as far as dating violence, okay? Dating abuse. So you'll hear those terms being used interchangeably, okay? So what I'm going to talk about is as far as the different forms. Now, even though we're talking about an age group of 11 to about 18, okay, this still doesn't change. It still can happen in these age groups of what I'm talking to you about, okay? So we already know the most obvious one is going to be physical abuse, right? Okay, that's self-explanatory. Don't really need to share exactly what physical abuse is, okay? I will say this, if a person is holding you and preventing you from leaving, and this person is he or she is squeezing your arm or your hand, or wherever they may have their hand on your body, and they're preventing you from leaving, and you're in a relationship, you're arguing with this person maybe, or debating on leaving, or however that conversation is going, and they're preventing you from leaving, that can also be looked at as a form of abuse. Okay. I just want you to remember that. Okay. So then we have the physical abuse. We have the verbal abuse, right? That's self-explanatory. Well, I'll just say this. If somebody is calling you out of your name, if they're cursing at you, if the person is hollering at you, if the person is using profanity at you, which is the same thing as cursing, but if the person is demeaning to you, saying words that's hurtful to you, making you feel humiliated in front of other people, saying negative things about you to get a laugh, or making you the joke of the brunt of the joke, all of that can be looked at as a form of verbal abuse. Okay, so I want you to remember that. So we have the physical abuse, we have the verbal abuse. Now, what about the emotional side? So there's emotional abuse, right? That can be where the person is just outright being mean to you, just outright being controlling and saying negative things to you, doing negative things to you, right? Making you feel less than, making you feel as though what you have to say is not important, okay? The person is causing you stress and going through depression, which is not something that is needed, but this is what this person is doing to you. They're making you feel as though you're not worthy, okay? As though your voice doesn't matter, and they're saying negative things to you, right? Probably even gaslighting you in this situation, and maybe even manipulating you in this situation. All of that goes together with the emotional, mental, and psychological abuse, okay? And so all of this can happen. Now, when I break this down for children or for younger ones, what I explain to them is as far as the emotional side. So if this person is saying mean things to you that's hurtful to you, that's hurting your feelings, that makes you feel less than, right? That makes you feel that you're not worthy, or that you're not a good human, okay? Not a good human being, however you want to say that. If the person is manipulating you to get your lunch money. Okay, so then that's another form of bullying as well, right? But if the person is manipulating you to get your lunch money, have you to purchase lunch, buy lunch for them, right? Do an Uber or something. They want you to pay for it. Because the kids nowadays can order Uber at school, okay? I think that is like so shocking. but it does happen. So, if you're in a situation like that and the person wants you to buy their lunch every day, if the person is asking you to purchase clothes for them, right? Because they can order things too, right? I remember when I did DoorDash for a little bit, that I went to a couple high schools here in Arizona where the students had ordered some things that were like from, what's the name of that place? Dickies. And I had to go to the store to purchase them for the items and then take it up to the high school. Now, some of these things were like exercise clothes or something like that. One of them was like tennis shoes or something that I purchased and took it up to the school. So, and this was like after school that I dropped it off. So it could have had something to do with, in terms of them for exercise or for with a sport or something, right? But what I'm trying to share is that this could have easily been somebody manipulating another person to purchase items for them, right? So that is possible. But I'm not saying that's what happened in this situation, just giving you an example of how that can happen, where someone, even in school, can be manipulated out of their money. That would also be considered financial abuse, okay? We as an adult, it would be more so where they want you to pay your rent. They want you to, buy expensive things for them. They want you to take care of them because they don't want to work. It could be along those lines for an adult for financial abuse, right? Whereas for a teen, because they know that teen maybe don't have enough money to spend like that, their wishes and wants would be a little bit lower in terms of price wise. Does that kind of make sense? So, that's the emotional side. Like I said, with the gaslighting, that happens as well. The mental, emotional, psychological side, all of that happens of, making that person, hollering at that person and telling them, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but getting that person to be that worked up and then coming back and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, but then making it a continuous thing, right? Threatening to harm the person, being physical with that individual, and that person has already seen you be physical. So they're going to have that thought in their mind. So every time you say something, you can bring that threat to that person. Well, if you don't, I'm going to do this, right? So that's terrorizing the person, right? And so that is a form of abuse that covers under what I just shared with you. So when we look at in terms of abuse, I'm gonna go back over. So it's physical, is verbal, right? Is mental, emotional, psychological abuse. Is financial. I'm sorry, I can't even speak. Financial abuse. It's also another form of abuse. And let me just kind of see how I didn't say the sexual abuse is a part of that too, right? So forcing that person to have sex, manipulating that person into having sex, and unsafe sex, right? Manipulating that person into, if that person do get pregnant, of talking that person into having an abortion. Now that falls up under reproductive coercion. That happens too with teens, okay? Or manipulating them into having a baby, okay? And just saying, hey, this will make our relationship stronger. It'll mean we'll be together forever, whatever the case may be, right? So it's different things, different forms of abuse that teens go through that maybe adults may not go through. So now let me just say this part. As far as with, for adults, well, I don't want to be confusing with that. So let's just stick on this part. So, I'm going to go ahead because I want to talk a little bit further about the age group and the difference in the age group. So I am going to mention this. So when we look at the older adults in the ages of 18 to about 24, 25 years old, they deal with abuse on a different level, because at that point they're grown. They probably have met somebody that may not be from this country, right? Could be from a different country, and that person may try to manipulate them into dating them so that they can become legal, right? Or if the person is here illegal and they meet somebody that is a citizen here, that they could be abusive to that individual and threaten that person to harm them in order for that person to stay in that relationship, right? Or the person that's from here and the other person is not, they can threaten that person that if you don't stay in this relationship, I'll have you deported. Now that actually is called immigration status. That is a form of abuse too, okay? So then when we look at the reproductive side of controlling that person in terms of the pregnancies and not using condoms and things like that, all of that falls up under, and I can go a little bit deeper with that too. But for the sake of the video, I won't go any further with it, but when I talk about adults, I'll share a little bit more information about it. So, in terms of for the teens, these are the different forms of abuse that a teenager could face. physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional, mental, psychological abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, right? So they can have this impacted into their life through the years, okay? And that's where these stats come in at, where I was sharing with you on yesterday about, here's one again, I'm gonna say 1 in 5 tweens, which is that young age between 10 and 12 years old, where they know a victim, tweens knows a victim of dating violence, right? They know somebody that was a victim of dating violence. So these things are happening, whether we're talking about it or not. It is a fact that these things are happening. These situations are happening, right? Like I shared with you on yesterday, when I was in Texas for almost 2 years, I taught at several different high schools, several different elementary schools, middle schools, and going into the colleges and helping with, or going to different organizations, different trade, not trade, but when the schools have their special events, and I would go there as a part of the organization that I work with, and I would share to the students about domestic violence, about teen dating violence, and as far as just as a whole, like I said, they are familiar with it. They may not fully have the examples like what I share, but it made a huge difference. And I'm like 100% sure that the information that I shared with these students there and giving them real life examples, real life experiences, help them to have a better understanding about what teen dating violence is. And I'm sure that that's going to help them through the years, right? And for some of them, it'll help them through the years to be able to identify. I had this one student that came up to me after class, and he was asking me questions about abuse. And he confided in me and told me that his parents were in an abusive relationship. And so he was asking me questions about that. What should he do and how should he respond, and, things like that. So that's why I said that when I share this information, what an impact it has on so many different people across the board. Okay. And it's something that I love to do. I feel like God has given me the desire, the passion to be able to do this, to speak on the level that I speak on, and to share so transparently, and not be ashamed of what I've gone through, and be able to share this information with other people. I truly believe that God has given me the okay to be able to do this, because I absolutely love it. I've never gotten burnt out from sharing and talking about, domestic violence and doing my videos or anything. I've never been burnt out from doing that. So I know that that's nothing but a gift from God to be able to do the work that I do. And I absolutely love it. Do this advocating that I do. And I absolutely love it. And so just sharing this information is going to make a world of a difference. And I hope that you all have been writing down this information. If not, I'm definitely going to share it on a video as well. And then also I'll share it through a post, so that way you'll be able to see it and have that information. I'm actually, after this video, I'll go ahead and I'll share a post. So I'll share the post later. Let me go and do my video on Instagram, and then I do one on TikTok as well. And so after I do those videos, I'll come back, and then I'll go ahead and post a message, or I'll post something in regards to teen dating violence, so that way you can visually see it a little bit more too, okay? And that'll, kind of maybe answer some questions that you might have. It's going to be some information about what are the different forms of abuse, okay, is what I'm going to share. So I hope that I have covered everything. I have shared the information. You're grasping it. You're writing it down. You're going back and looking at previous videos to get the information. As I mentioned to you, this weekend, every day this weekend, so yesterday, today, and then tomorrow, I will post a video at 6:30, starting at 6:30 tomorrow for Facebook, close to around 7 o'clock for Instagram, and then close to around 7:30 for TikTok. And then also I'm going to go on and do a video for my YouTube channel that I'm actually creating. I'm not creating, but I'm building on my YouTube channel. So please follow me on my platforms. This would definitely make a difference. If you think that what I'm sharing is impactful, it's impactful to you, can you imagine how impactful it would be to other people? So please, by all means, share, like, and share my videos on all of my platforms across the board: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and then also YouTube. I would greatly appreciate you guys going on to YouTube and just, becoming a subscriber on YouTube, so that way you can get my videos and stuff too, right? And that also will help me to build up my subscribers. that are following me as well. Okay. So with that being said, guys, I got to go so I can get ready to do my Instagram video. But I hope that I've shared some great information. It's been informative. It's been impactful. And more importantly, it has been empowering to you for me to share this information. And so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the feed of the video. If not, you can send me a direct message and I will answer your question. Actually, tomorrow would have been on Sunday. I'm going to answer some questions that people have asked me in regards to this series that I'm on as far as with teen dating violence, okay? And I'm going to answer those questions on tomorrow. And I'll answer them on tomorrow, and then if you want, continue to keep sending them to me, and then the next time that I'm going to answer some questions will be on next Friday. So it'll be on Sunday and Friday, because Friday will be the last day, okay? So with that being said, guys, you got plenty of time to get your questions posed to me, to send them to me, direct message, or put them into the feed of the video if you feel comfortable doing that. If not, send me a direct message on any one of my platforms that I've mentioned, okay? And you'll be able to find me and be able to share the information. So with that being said, guys, you have a great night, and I will see you when you got it tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, cuz, thanks for joining in.